Welcome back. If you're hearing these words tonight, it isn't a coincidence. Maybe you've already felt it, something shifting, something stirring, like a gentle wind brushing through your soul, a quiet sign that something sacred is about to unfold. Take this moment, pause for a breath, inhale slowly, exhale even slower, and let everything inside you begin to settle. Because sometimes, only when we truly stop, do we finally hear the call of destiny. There's a divine message finding its way to you this week, not loud, not urgent, but deep, like an underground river moving quietly beneath your life. It's a message meant for you, the one who's walked through storms, who's learned to keep faith even when the light seemed far away. And now, as the world softens into silence, as your mind begins to listen instead of search, let me tell you the first thing the universe is whispering to you tonight. Aries, your journey has never been a coincidence. There are moments when it feels like you've come to a standstill somewhere along the long road of life, the light ahead fading, the inner voice growing quiet. But it's exactly in those moments that the universe begins to write a new chapter for you. No one can see it, no one can hear it, yet deep within your soul, a quiet symphony of destiny is already playing steady, deliberate, unshakable. When you've walked through tired days, when your hands feel empty but your heart is still warm, that's when the energy of transformation begins to rise softly, invisibly. It doesn't come from luck, but from the way you've lived, from the kindness you've shown even when no one was watching, from the honesty you've kept even when trust felt like a luxury. The universe counts every breath, every small choice you've made out of light, not fear. Many people believe opportunity only finds those who run fast, but destiny has its own rhythm. It calls out to those who have learned how to pause. Your silence isn't weakness, it's a sacred space, the stillness needed for old energy to dissolve so something new can be born. On the days when it seems like nothing's happening, your soul is quietly moving. A door is opening, not out there, but within you. You might not see it yet, but piece by piece, life is rearranging the scattered parts. A friend you lost touch with suddenly reaches out. An old idea flickers back to life. A strange feeling makes you stop and look up at the sky for no reason at all. These are the small signs, like faint stars announcing that dawn is on its way. And if your heart stirs even for a moment, know that you are moving in the right direction. We often wait for destiny to speak in thunder, but the universe rarely raises its voice. It speaks through coincidences, through that unexplainable knowing that needs no reason, through a beam of light slipping through your window at the very moment you thought of giving up. So stop searching for miracles in distant places. Look closer into the quiet details of your everyday life, because that's where the real magic hides. I've always believed that souls like yours, Aries, never truly get lost. You're simply being guided through quieter paths to learn the sound of your own voice again. Destiny never arrives late. It just waits for you to be steady enough to hear its gentle knock. And when you finally pause, take one deep breath, you'll hear it, the sound of a beginning, soft yet unmistakable, like the steady drum of your own heart. You may not realize it yet, but this week marks a turning of tides, not with storms, but with the breath of wind. Not with noise, but with movements so subtle only an awakened soul can sense them. Let your mind grow still, like calm water that mirrors the light perfectly. And when you begin to feel that subtle motion, don't analyze it, don't try to hold it. Just let it carry you the way a quiet river carries the first leaf of autumn toward where it's always meant to go. Because the moment you surrender, that's when the real journey begins. Somewhere in the rhythm of your days, the universe is already placing a small sign in your hands, a coincidence, a glance, a whisper you can't explain. And if you listen closely, you'll realize, amid what seems ordinary, there are signs quietly calling your name, so gentle that only a truly awakened heart can hear them. There are mornings when you open your eyes and everything seems exactly the same room, the same shimmer of light through the window, the same quiet ticking of the clock marking each minute. But if you listen closely, you'll sense something small, almost nameless, shifting in the air. A new frequency, a softer breath, the heartbeat of the universe pulsing quietly inside you. Maybe it's a message you didn't expect from someone you thought had long drifted away. Maybe it's a dream that keeps returning, showing you a place you've never been but somehow recognize. Or maybe it's simply the feeling that today's light is different, clearer, warmer, and you pause for no reason at all, wondering why. These tiny, fragile moments, like dust motes of sunlight floating in still air, are the universe's way of saying, hello. Nothing is random. Every signal you receive, even the faintest touch upon your spirit, is a message sent from a higher vibration. The universe doesn't knock with thunder, it taps through the rhythm of your own heart, through the breath you forget to notice. And as your soul begins to awaken, you'll start to see these signs more often, as if life itself has learned to speak in a secret language meant only for you. Some call it intuition, some call it coincidence, but in truth, it's destiny's quiet whisper. I'm here, right beside you. We often doubt it because it comes so gently, so silently. But it's in that silence where miracles begin to grow, like seeds breaking open beneath the dark soil. You can't see them, but you know they're alive. When you allow yourself to believe in the small things, you open the door for something greater. Notice the subtle shifts around you. Every glance, every meeting, every fleeting thought carries its own current of energy. That current doesn't come to test you, it comes to teach you how to feel, how to listen, how to soften into what seems invisible. Ask yourself this: could it be that life has been calling your name and you just haven't noticed? Maybe an opportunity is moving closer, a conversation is waiting to unfold, a door is quietly unlocking, just waiting for you to be still enough to see it. So instead of asking, when will the miracle arrive? Ask, am I ready to recognize it when it does? Because miracles rarely shout. They arrive on the soft feet of wind, in sunlight slipping through your curtains, in the unexplainable peace that settles in your chest for no reason at all. And once you begin to notice these delicate rhythms, you'll realize you were never alone. Everything has always been moving for you, toward you, and with you. This is the moment when energy begins to shift. It's light, hidden, but real. A quiet turning beneath the surface, a warmth rising in your chest, a sign that you're stepping into a deeper layer of your journey, where faith begins to meet fear, and your soul learns to tell the difference between holding on and letting go. And just like a river finding its way to the sea, you'll soon be carried into the conversation between two great forces: the mind that wants to control and the heart that invites you to surrender. Right there, in that meeting point, is where the true healing begins. Sometimes we think strength means always moving forward in relentless steps, in unwavering determination that borders on exhaustion. But there is another kind of strength, quieter, deeper, the kind that comes when you finally learn to pause and breathe, when you no longer need to prove anything, when you stop running against the wind and start listening to the voice of your own soul. Aries, you were born with a fire that never goes out. But even fire needs air to breathe and stillness to recover. The universe knows you better than anyone. That's why it doesn't send storms to test your power. It sends moments of stillness to see if you can trust even when nothing is clear. There are seasons in life when everything seems blocked. Plans don't unfold. Doors stay closed. The person you're waiting for doesn't arrive. On the surface, everything is silent. But inside, a quiet war begins between faith and fear, between the urge to control and the gentle invitation to let go. Fear speaks loudly, demanding answers now. Faith whispers softly, and you can only hear it with your heart. You've been there before, haven't you? That place where you didn't know whether to keep going or stop, where confusion made you doubt even yourself. But then, there comes a moment when you stop fighting. You sit still, You let everything flow. And somehow, in that silence, you hear something not from the outside but from deep within. You are safe. You are not forgotten. You are being guided exactly where you're meant to go. That is the moment of faith. Faith isn't believing because you see the result. It's trusting because you feel the order of the universe. Faith isn't about things going right. It's about knowing that even delays have purpose. To have faith is to walk by heart, not by fear. There is great power in surrender. But surrender is not giving up. It's understanding that you can't force a flower to bloom early, can't rush the sunrise, can't redirect the river with your bare hands. Everything has its divine rhythm, and your only task is to stay awake enough to move with that rhythm. If you're walking through fog right now, see it as an invitation, a sacred moment for you to turn inward. Whenever you don't know what to do, breathe. Breathe in and receive strength. Breathe out and release fear. In every breath, the world moves with you, and maybe what you need isn't an answer, but the trust that the answer will come when you're ready to receive it. True faith isn't loud. It's a fragile light seeping through the cracks of doubt, a quiet warmth returning to your chest after the storm, a soft smile even when you still don't understand. To believe is the bravest act of all, because it asks you to release the very thing you're most afraid to lose control. And when you let go, everything changes. The energy around you softens. Life stops feeling like something to push through and starts feeling like something that gently comes to meet you. In that space, miracles begin not outside of you, but within. And then, when the air grows still and your breath deepens, you'll touch a new layer of peace where strength no longer comes from doing, but from being, where your faith becomes light itself. And in that light, a new lesson quietly waits, the lesson of stillness, where your soul rediscovers its purest, most unbroken form. There are moments in life when it feels as if every sound has stopped, no footsteps rushing by, no promises hanging in the air, only the rhythm of your own breath echoing in a silence so still it almost feels alive. Many people fear silence. They think it means loss, emptiness, loneliness. But those who have walked through many long nights know the truth. Silence is never the end. It is the beginning. When the world outside stops responding to your efforts, it isn't because you've been forgotten. It's because the universe is quietly rearranging everything to match the depth your soul has grown into. You are no longer meant to chase. You are meant to witness, to observe, to stand as a living testament to your own journey. Silence is the fertile soil where the seeds of abundance are planted. In the stillness, things once buried begin to sprout. Old beliefs fade, new ones take root. The walls you built out of fear slowly dissolve, making room for the light to pour in. You don't need to prove yourself anymore. You don't need to compare. You don't even need to speak. You just need to be fully, honestly, quietly present. That's the beauty of a soul that has matured. It no longer seeks applause to feel worthy. It knows all value flows from within. Like a calm lake reflecting the whole sky, the quieter it is, the clearer the reflection becomes. And somewhere inside you, there is a lake like that too. It only needs stillness to show you the true face of your own spirit. Maybe you once believed your worth was measured by what you could achieve, by what you could produce, by how others saw you. But life, in its infinite wisdom, gave you days where there was nothing left to do, no one left to call, nowhere left to go, so you could finally learn that your true worth is the peace you feel when you can sit alone with yourself and still feel complete. Stillness is a test, but it's also a gift. It teaches you to look at your wounds without turning away. It teaches you to touch your pain without fear. It teaches you to listen to the voice within that you've been drowning out with the noise of the world. When you dare to be still, you hear the real heartbeat of your life, not the rhythm of fear, but the pulse of faith. The richest person isn't the one who has the most, but the one who feels enough, even when the world is silent. Enough not because nothing is missing, but because they finally understand that nothing essential has ever been gone. When you live in that energy, everything begins to flow toward you naturally. Opportunities, people, encounters written by fate. Life finds its way to those who know peace in stillness. If today you find yourself in that quiet space, close your eyes for a moment. Feel your heartbeat. Breathe in deeply. Exhale slowly. Then whisper a small thank you for the morning light, for a kind glance, for the simple truth that you are still here, still able to feel. Gratitude is how you tell the universe, I'm ready for more. Because when the heart begins to give thanks, your energy changes. And when your energy changes, everything around you shifts with it. The things that once broke you start to reveal a deeper meaning. Through the eyes of stillness, you'll see that no loss was ever wasted. Each one was a gift in disguise, a lesson wrapped inside the shape of challenge. And sometimes, when you finally sit quietly in the gentle light of now, the miracle begins. Not loud, not sudden, but soft, like the breath of dawn slipping through your window, awakening a new awareness within you, that everything which once shook you was only ever guiding you back home to yourself. Sometimes you look back on your life and realize so many things didn't go the way you hoped. A door that once held promise closed without explanation. Someone who once held your hand through the darkest nights walked away, leaving behind a quiet space where their voice used to be. An opportunity that felt certain slipped through your fingers like a dream fading at dawn. And in those moments, you ask yourself, why? But time, that silent teacher, eventually answers. No door closes just to hurt you. No one leaves just to leave you empty. Every loss is a gentle push, a quiet redirection, guiding you off paths where the light no longer belongs to you. Aries, you were never left behind. You were being protected, shielded from things that could have dimmed the fire inside your heart. Through old eyes, you may see only endings. But through the vision of your soul, you'll recognize beginnings even when they're disguised as pain. Life can act like a strict teacher. It doesn't always speak softly. It doesn't give you everything you want, but it always gives you exactly what you need to grow. Every time you thought you were losing, you were actually being returned in another form, something higher, something deeper. Think back to the moments that once broke you. You cried, you raged, you felt wronged. But today, from where you stand now, can you see it differently? If that hadn't happened, I wouldn't have learned how to be strong. I wouldn't have learned to love myself. I wouldn't have learned how to live honestly. Every wrong time carries within it a right time. We just couldn't see it yet. Some people appear only to teach us something, and then they go. Some dreams don't come true so that we can find the ones that truly fit. The universe always clears space before it delivers gifts. When it takes something away, it isn't punishment, it's preparation. It's making room for what's meant to stay. But to recognize that, you must learn to forgive. Forgive not just others, but yourself for the hasty choices, the misplaced trust, the times you tried too hard to hold on to what was already asking to be released. Forgiveness is what happens when you look back and feel gratitude instead of regret. And when forgiveness begins, your energy shifts, it softens, it brightens like water after a storm. The heaviness starts to lift. Your heart opens again, and the universe begins to respond with gentle clarity. Sometimes through a new opportunity, sometimes through a stranger who restores your faith, sometimes through a quiet morning when you wake up and realize you don't hurt the way you used to. Change never arrives with thunder. It comes with the light of dawn, soft, patient, certain. You don't need to understand everything. You only need to trust that every motion is moving you towards something better. When you stop resisting, life finds its own rhythm and brings you back to where you truly belong. And in time, you'll see amid everything you thought you lost, one thing never left: you. The steady, enduring soul that refused to give up its light. That resilience kept you standing, so that now you can see what you couldn't before, that every detour carried meaning. When you look at life through the eyes of gratitude, pain becomes clarity, loss becomes invitation, and life, in its own quiet way, will whisper back to you as softly as a breeze, as warm as morning sunlight, reminding you that every time your heart opens, every other door will begin to open too. Not everyone understands this truth. The heart, like a river, only truly flows when it's open. For years, you may have learned to keep yourself safe. You've held back your kindness, your feelings, even your dreams, because somewhere in your past, you came to believe that giving too much would leave you empty, that being too real would leave you hurt. But now, as your journey reaches this point, your soul begins to see it differently, that by closing yourself off, you've also shut the flow of blessings meant for you. Wealth has never been about numbers in an account or gifts from the outside. True wealth is standing in the world without feeling the need to ask for permission to shine. It's knowing that your light, your goodness, your truth are gifts you give simply by existing. Because light never asks, "May I shine?" It just does. Think back for a moment. How many times have you made yourself smaller so others wouldn't feel uncomfortable? How many times have you pretended to be fine just to keep the peace? Each time you do, a little part of you fades, and your heart grows heavier. But you weren't born to be small. You were born to be the torch in the dark, to guide those still lost in their own fear. Something miraculous happens when the heart opens. When you stop placing conditions on love, "I'll love," when they deserve it, and instead love simply because it's your soul's nature to do so, your energy begins to shift. You stop chasing love and become the source of it. You stop waiting for validation, because your very presence becomes proof that you are already enough. The universe always mirrors what you believe about yourself. When you believe you are abundant, abundance finds you. When you believe you are loved, love seeks you. When you believe you are small, the world reflects smallness back. To open your heart is the bravest act of all. It asks you to trust in the goodness of life, even after it's hurt you. It asks you to believe that even when you've been broken, you can love again, this time, with the wisdom of your soul instead of the fear of your past. Right now, your energy is touching what I call the diamond frequency, a state of clarity, strength, and purity. Nothing can dim the light that comes from an honest heart. Those who live at this frequency don't need to prove their goodness. They simply embody it. They don't argue to be believed, because their peace already speaks for them. They don't chase love, because they know they are love. When you live with an open heart, everything begins to flow: energy, emotion, even money. Wealth, like grace, moves toward those who know how to let it pass through them. Remember, you don't need to control the river to make it flow. You only need to remove the stones blocking its path, the fears, the insecurities, the old memories. And when you stand in that light, unafraid of how others see you, the universe will send you a signal, maybe a person, maybe an opportunity, maybe an invitation you never expected. But when it comes, you'll know, because energy recognizes energy. You'll feel it as a deep resonance, as if your soul has known this place forever. And in that moment, a door will open, a doorway into the deeper layer of awakening. Because every time your heart truly opens, life begins to speak back. There are moments in life when you're simply living as usual, busy, practical, maybe even a little numb to the rhythm of everyday things, and then, suddenly, something small but strange happens. It could be a random conversation with a stranger, a glance that makes you pause, or just a soft feeling, light as air, that makes your heartbeat change for no reason at all. And in that instant, something inside you wakes up. A quiet part of your soul, long forgotten, whispers gently, "I'm still here." Awakening is not a burst of blinding light. It's more like a flash in the dark, just enough to show you the path you'd forgotten, just enough to remind you that you were never really lost. Every soul carries a mission within it, but sometimes, for that mission to activate, life needs to send you a mirror, a person, A situation, a lesson, something powerful enough to stir you at your very core. That person, that moment, doesn't come to save you. They come to awaken you. It's as if their soul vibrates at the exact frequency your energy needs in order to open. They reflect back to you the light you've forgotten in yourself. And sometimes they reflect the shadow too, the parts you need to face in order to shed your old skin. True awakening doesn't happen in grand, mystical moments. It happens in the ordinary when you suddenly see your life through new eyes. The small things become sacred again. A quiet morning, a warm cup of coffee, the sound of someone's laughter that makes your chest ache softly. You start to feel the beauty of presence. You realize that the miracle isn't in the future, it's happening right here, right now. Aries, when your soul's mission begins to awaken, you'll feel a new current rising within you. It's no longer the hunger to conquer, it's the desire to contribute. No longer the urge to escape pain, but the wish to turn it into light that guides others. Something deep within you starts to move quietly, yet powerfully, pulling you closer to the purpose your life was always meant to fulfill. Sometimes awakening begins with loss. When something breaks, it leaves space behind, and in that space, the light can finally enter. You start to see what truly matters. You learn to love deeper, to listen more softly, to forgive with greater ease. Each heartbreak peels away another layer, revealing the raw, radiant truth of your soul. None of us are here merely to pass through life. We came to learn, to love, to create, to give. And when you realize that, even the smallest things you do begin to carry meaning. A gentle word becomes medicine. A kind act can shift someone's entire day. Awakening isn't about knowing, it's about living with awareness, showing up fully to each moment. And maybe, somewhere along the way, you've met someone who felt like a mirror for your soul. Not because they were perfect, but because they helped you remember who you are. Something in their eyes, their voice, their presence felt anciently familiar. That's not coincidence. That's the universe whispering, it's time to come home to yourself. When your mission awakens, you'll notice you no longer need to argue or prove anything. You just want to live truthfully, love deeply, and give freely because you understand that's the most beautiful way to honor this life. Every encounter, every challenge, every loss, they all have purpose. And somehow, they are all leading you back to where you were always meant to belong. Take a deep breath and let it travel all the way down to the quietest corner of your heart. Aries, the path you've walked has never been easy, but you've taken every step with heart, with light, and with faith that refused to fade. Every tear you've shed, every time you thought you couldn't stand again, has now turned into pearls of wisdom, illuminating the road ahead. You don't need to search for miracles anymore, because every miracle begins within the aliveness of your soul, in the way you love, the way you believe, the way you still choose gentleness even when the world grows harsh. Thank you for not giving up, for daring to fall in love with life one more time. May the days ahead be as light as morning sunlight, as steady as a kind wind, and filled with everything good arriving in perfect timing, through the right people, in the right way. A soft bow, from this heart to yours, in gratitude, in peace, and in light.